Hey, friend, welcome to day 2 of our 5-day challenge. I'm so glad that you're with me today. Did you take some time and reflect on your purpose, maybe journal some things or talk with somebody else about your purpose? And now we're going to move on to day number 2. Starts with purpose. Now we go to growth. If I were to sit down with you and we would just grab a cup of coffee, there'd be 2 questions I'd love to ask you. The first question is, how are you growing yourself? And the second question is, how are you growing others? You see, when I was a teenager, I've shared this story many times because it made such an impact on me. My Uncle Tom and Aunt Carolyn were small business owners and entrepreneurs and quite successful. And my Uncle Tom saw potential in me and he took me under his wing 15, 16, 17 in those years. He began to talk to me about personal development, talk to me about setting goals, talk to me about becoming better every day, began to share with me the ways that that successful people become successful. You can define success however you choose. I'm not necessarily giving in a definition, but however you would define successful, that there's definitely intentionality that goes with that, and there's personal development or personal growth that's a part of it. And so personal growth has been a part of my life for decades. And even just the other day, yesterday, I was sitting writing down some of my thoughts and my dreams and my goals for this year, 2026. Have you paused yet to think about last year and what did you learn and how did you grow from last year and what you desire to experience this year? You see, just the mere fact that you're part of our 5-day challenge, good for you. It means that you are a person of personal development and personal growth. You see, because the only guarantee that tomorrow will be better is if we're growing ourselves today. Your future self, friend, is going to thank you that you did this 5-day challenge. Your future self is going to thank you for the podcasts that you listen to, maybe the books that you read, or the interactions that you have with mentors, or the conferences that you attend. You see, because that's how we grow ourselves. You see, we grow older naturally, but we only grow better if we are intentional. So I'm glad that you're being intentional on these 5 days. Let it not just be for 5 days, but let it be a life commitment to personal development and personal growth. So I want to share a couple things here I wrote in my book. I love this. I love this quote. Oh, I got to find it right here. Um, yes, here it is, right here. If you don't design your life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. That's a quote from Jim Rohn. I love that quote. You see, you can't expect someone else to make a pathway and a plan for your development. You and I have to take ownership of it ourselves every day, learning a little bit, growing a little bit, doing a little bit, learning a little bit, growing a little bit, doing a little bit, and that's how we become better. So let's start with thinking about your personal growth. Let's think about the vision for your life. Do you have a vision for your life? Do you have a direction that you want to see your life head? Um, because that's where it all starts. We start with the end in mind, and we come back and say, the kind of life I desire to lead is to be a person, that looks like this, spiritually and health wise and financially and relational wise. When we start to get a picture, a vision for where we're headed, then we can backtrack and say, okay, who am I today and how do I get there? I don't know if we still do this in this day and age, but I remember, years ago we would go to the mall and we would find a store that we want to go to, and then you'd see the little dot that says you are here, and then here's the place you want to go, the restaurant, and so now you know how the map to get there. Well, that's what personal development is in our life. We begin to look for the vision of our life that we desire, and then we say, where am I today? And then we look at the roadmap or the map and we say, how do I get there? Where are the areas that I need to grow myself in order to become the person I desire to become, to have the life I desire to lead. That's what personal development and personal growth is all about. So we start with a vision for our life. I love saying that a vision without action is a daydream, and an action without vision is a nightmare. But don't miss this part. Vision with action not only can change your life, friend, it can change your entire world. So get a clear vision for your life. It's all a part of your personal development. It's where it all starts. And then from there, you can begin to put in place the steps needed to go to where you desire to go. So many, many years ago, I heard these three questions. And the interesting thing was, I remember reflecting on them, years ago. And then in 2025, two different times, once at a conference and once reading a book, these three questions emerged again. And I thought, wow, this is interesting. I haven't thought about these in a while. So I ended up writing them in my book. The questions are, what do you want to have? What do you want to have in life? I'm not necessarily talking about material things. I'm talking about in general, like, what is it that you want to have in your life? What do you want to do with your life? We're human beings before we're human doings. But what is it that you want to do? And then the third question is, what do you want to be? What do you want to be? You see, because when the vision is clear, then the options are fewer and decisions become easier. You see, many of us are lacking clarity in our life. And when we explore questions like this and we look at the vision for our life, we get clarity. And friend, here's good news. Clarity always precedes peace. And clarity always precedes success. So, what do you want to have? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? What do you want to be? Those questions will give you some clarity. I want you to pause today and reflect on those. Maybe jot some thoughts down on those three questions. Then I want to talk to you about the importance of some other ways that you can grow yourself. Maybe you already are, I'm not sure, but just some things that have worked for me. I love listening to podcasts. If I'm driving in my car, if I'm out for a walk or exercising, I love taking in content from other people, those interviews, those experiences, those things that I can learn by listening to a 30-minute or an hour-long podcast. It's absolutely incredible. Second, I love reading books. Now, when I was younger, I didn't so much like to read books. I had a bookcase with a lot of books on it. I only read little snippets of those books. But in my latter years, I love to read books. It's the way that I can take, let's say $20 and invest it in somebody who poured years of their life, just like what I did with my book. And they give us all this wisdom and all this experience. It takes me 3-4 hours to read it. Oh my goodness, I learned so much by reading books. I want to inspire you and encourage you. Set a goal. How many books would you like to read or listen to on Audible in 2026? So we listen to podcasts, we read books, we get mentors in our life. Now, when I was younger, I used to think I need a mentor. How do I get a mentor? But what I've come to discover, friend, is we need multiple mentors in our lives. Maybe you need somebody that's more of a health coach type of mentor in our life. They know about nutrition and exercise, and they're farther along the path so we can learn from them. Maybe we need somebody in finance that can help us, give us wisdom how to grow better ourselves with finance. Or maybe it's in different areas and skill sets in your life. For me, I love leadership type mentors in my life because I want to grow myself as a leader and a coach. Find a mentor and multiple mentors this year. Set it as a priority. So how do you find mentors? Well, think about the people you know. And maybe you ask them, who do you know that I need to know that could potentially be someone to speak into my life? The other way you can look for a mentor, and I heard this from Dan Martell. I thought it was a great suggestion. He said, if you're looking for a high capacity leader and you don't have any in your life, look at some different websites of nonprofits that you like and see who their board members are. Those are usually high capacity, high integrity people. And you could try to find them on LinkedIn or online and reach out to them and say, hey, I see you're a board member of this such and such organization. I'm looking for a mentor. Would you be willing to spend 15 minutes on a call with me? I have a few questions I'd like to ask you about mentorship. Write out your questions. I think that you'll probably find someone that would be willing to say, yeah, I'll take 15 minutes and talk to you. Because people who are high capacity, people who are more successful, they're serving on boards, they like to give back to others. You may find someone there that could become a mentor. In my life, the people who have become my mentors, you know how they became my mentors? I simply asked them. I said, hey, would you be willing to mentor me for a season? And then always come with questions, always come prepared, and always put into action some of the advice that they give you, so that when you go back the next time, you can say, hey, last time we talked about XYZ, you told me this would be your advice. I did that. Now I've got some more questions for you. Those would be some great ways to grow yourself by having some mentors in your life. Okay, so I want to wrap this up today by giving you a challenge. Maybe you're already challenged, thinking about your own personal development, your own personal growth. Good for you. You're part of the 5-day challenge. Have you introduced yourself on our community board there in school? If you haven't, make sure you do so. And have you invited someone else? We still have 3 more days, and I want you to invite someone to join us. So here is your challenge for today. It's these questions. What are you doing to grow yourself? What things are you doing to say, this is my personal growth plan for 2026? Woohoo! How are you growing yourself this year? How are you going to grow yourself so that it doesn't become like a New Year's resolution and it goes away? No, goals are seasonal. Growth is lifetime. Goals are great. They're important. I set goals. They're really important, but growth is better. You see, because growth challenges people, goals challenge people, but growth changes people. Okay? Oh, one more. Goals motivate people, but growth matures people. Come on. Growth is how long will this take? Goals are how long will this take? And growth is how far can I go? Okay, here's your questions for the challenge. We'll be done for today. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Oh, I can't wait. So, what are you doing to grow yourself? I want you to think about that. And what is your personal growth plan for Q1 and throughout this entire year of how do you want to grow yourself? What books, how many books, what podcasts, how often do you want to listen to podcasts? What about mentors? Do you have some mentors in your life? Are you going to look to find some mentors in your life? And then finally, what specific action are you willing to take in order to continue to grow yourself throughout 2026? Oh, this has been a great session. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. And we're going to dive in tomorrow to another one of the pillars in my book, Priority Living, 7 Pillars to Make Your Life Count. And tomorrow, don't miss it, because tomorrow we're going to talk about the pillar of rhythm. How do we get pacing and rhythm in our life in this new year? I'll see you tomorrow. Make it a ridiculously amazing day.